Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. I just got a severe weather alert on my phone about a thunderstorm rolling in. I'm watching the clouds roll in as we speak. This is going to be a good one. We had a good thunderstorm last night, and I recorded, I don't know if you guys will see it by the time you see this video. I recorded like a little short film thing just for fun about like the rain and sitting and watching it. Maybe you've seen it on my Instagram, maybe you haven't, whatever, but maybe I'll get another chance to make it a little better with this current thunderstorm that's rolling in. We'll see. Anyway, I have a package here from the wonderful Ted Flips. Ted, thank you so much. There's a lot of cool stuff in here that I could make a week's worth of daily Blade Bias videos about easily. And I will do that. I'm going to record all my first impressions to this. If you guys want me to do I spent a week with anything that I cover, please let me know. There's 4 Balisongs in here. Do you guys want to see 4 I spent a week with videos? Or maybe just like the one that's the most interesting to me. I think it would really only be 2 I spent a week with videos because 2 of them are fairly custom. You'll see eventually. So Ted, thank you again for sending this. I am going to record my first impressions to everything in this case, but I'm not going to release it until Ty has a chance to record his first impressions of some of the stuff in this case. So I'll get like first coverage of half of the things and he'll get first coverage of the other half of the things. And then I'll release my coverage of whatever he gets first coverage of after he does it. It's confusing, I know, but it's just a better way so that I don't release 4 new Balisong videos and then Ty releases the same 4 and then people are like, well, they don't really, they're like, oh, I already saw this. So Ty gets a few first coverages, I get a few first coverages. It's going to be fun. But first up on the list is this. This is the Olympus Industries Prime. And this is basically a rep trainer if the rep was built from the ground up to be a trainer. It's got titanium liners, G10 scales, a beautiful Bowie profile trainer blade that's 440C, I believe, and it weighs 4 ounces. And just take a listen to this thing. Sounds amazing. G10 Balisongs have always sounded amazing, specifically sandwich Balis with titanium liners. They just sound really good. It sounds like a rep. It probably flips like a rep. I don't know. I don't have too much experience with the rep, but we'll get into flipping later. This is a very interesting Balisong to me. Number 43 out of 100, as you can see. And it's a Balisong that I was super interested in. I saw it back when I was into the Nautilus and was very interested in maybe picking one up eventually. But unfortunately, my time with the Nautilus didn't exactly go so well, as most of you know. And G10 kind of fell on my list. I used to be super into G10, but G10 now just is more of a turnoff rather than something that makes me want to buy a Balisong explicitly. So I was interested to get this thing in and feel the G10, because the only G10 I've ever felt that's like I would consider to be good was on some cheap Amazon Balisong, which is really weird. The Nautilus G10 was super chalky and really uncomfortable. The Bermuda G10 was a little better, but it still had that chalkiness and just wasn't amazing. This, on the other hand, first impressions, of course, is okay. I think it's actually pretty good. I don't really detect as much of that chalkiness, and it provides a good amount of grip while still making the Balisong feel premium. That's the problem with G10 Balisongs, is that a lot of them feel a little cheaper than they are because the G10 doesn't feel greatest. It's like plastic and you're like, oh, this is a $300 Balisong. It doesn't feel like it. I would definitely say this feels a little more premium than a Knot, which is good because I think this is priced about the same as a Knot. I think it runs for about $250. And of course, again, just to reiterate, everything in this video is first impressions. I'll do a week with the Prime, maybe if you guys want to see it, if that's something that you guys would be interested in. But for now, just first impressions. I've only been flipping this thing for like 10 minutes now, so. But flipping wise, it actually flips really well. Oh, I also do want to point out this ano. It's an interesting, I think it's a dual tone ano because this handle's pink and this handle's purple. I think it's supposed to be like that. I'm not sure. But the flipping on this thing is very good. I became a little less interested in the Prime, to be completely honest, when people started saying that it was handle bias, as handle bias is something that I haven't really come to like in my past few months of flipping. I've been flipping more, I would say, neutral things, mostly plastic stuff like the Flip Forge Edit or the Tay Flipper. The Tay Flipper. I was going to say the Tay Flipper Calico, but the Tay Flipper. But even the Nemesis, it is handle biased, but it still kind of fans like it's neutral. And handle bias just became something that I didn't really care too much for, you know? So hearing that the Prime was handle biased made me a little less excited for it, but getting it in, I'm happy to report that it's not as handle biased as I thought it would be. It still fans okay. It's not like anything like a Kraken trainer, like a 2.5 Kraken trainer at least, but it fans pretty well. And it rollovers are nice. It feels pretty good. There is a lot of weight in the end of the handles though. Specifically when you do like an ice pick to Z choker, in that first rotation, specifically here when you have to stop the weight moving forward like this, you can really feel how much weight is in the end of those handles. There's a lot of weight in the end of the handles. I mean, not like a lot. It's not like it's unevenly distributed. It's distributed pretty well, but there is still some ass weight there, which makes fans just a little bit weird. You can feel the momentum kind of being thrown all over the place whenever you fan it, but it's not bad, I wouldn't say. It flips a lot better than I was expecting, given people's reporting of it being fairly handle biased. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. One thing that I really, really like about it so far is these rounded handles, because you can see it's kind of like the Vortex was, where it's got the flat sides and then the handles kind of are rounded, and it makes fans specifically amazing. Choker fans are great. I have always been in love with rounded handles, something like the Flightanium Telestro Z, or the gyration thing, or the Glider Sahara. I've loved rounded handles. And even not, I mean, those are like round handles. These are more rounded handles. But even rounded handles, something like the Vortex, I was really, really into. So to have that on a more expensive experience is actually really nice. I'm a huge fan of the way that this is rounded and the way that it feels in the hand. Hey everyone, Future Ethan here really quick. I didn't have any other good place to put this in the video, and I forgot to mention it in the actual video, so I'm just going to put it here. This unit has no tap. I know the Prime has been getting a little shit for having tap. There is basically nothing on this thing, which tap is a whole nother discussion. I think it's okay to care about tap as long as it's within reason, but nothing on this one. This one is perfectly fine. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. And it looks great too. This Bowie blade is awesome. You don't really see Bowie trainers too much. Like, of course, they're out there, but Tonto is by far the most popular trainer blade. You have people like Arctic. Why do I always do that? You have people like Glider with their classic Tonto blade. Even the Nemesis V2 has like a Tonto adjacent sort of blade shape to it. You've got the Prismo with its Tonto inspired blade. It's mostly Tonto. So to see a Bowie blade with this kind of spine that curves up and then it curves down, it looks really nice. It sort of reminds me of, like, I mean, of course, oh, a Bowie blade reminds you of a Bowie blade. That's so cool, Ethan. How scholarly of you to point that out. It sort of reminds me of this. Of course, they're both Bowie blades, so of course it does. But it's almost better. Like, I almost like the more exaggerated Bowie profile, the way that this goes up further and then it kind of curves down more. And the tip kind of hooks out. It's nice. It's nice. I like the design a lot. And the design of the blade specifically, this blade is beautifully rounded on all sides, actually. I believe the bite handle is more chamfered, but the safe side of the spine of the blade is beautifully crowned, like a Glider Arctic would be. Unfortunately, the G10 kind of catches it up in that, because, you know, G10, it has more friction than something like aluminum would. So Chaplains aren't terribly comfy for long periods of time, because the G10 is going to start rubbing against your finger pretty quickly. But it is nothing too bad at all. If you've owned any G10 Balisongs before, it is nothing that you are going to be surprised by or shocked by. And yeah, this is a really fun flipper. I think we'll have to see because there's a few other things in that case that are pretty cool. But this might be my favorite thing in the case. I've opened up the case and I flipped everything just one combo, just to sort of, because I didn't want to go blind into it since these aren't necessarily new Balisongs. So I gave it one combo to kind of get my thoughts on it, and so far this might be my favorite thing in the package, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting this thing to be my least favorite thing in the package, for reasons that I mentioned earlier in the video. And especially, like, this sounds awesome. So yeah, I like it a lot, actually. It's a fun little Balisong. This would be, if I still carried metal, I don't really carry metal trainers as like an EDC anymore. The EDC spot in my bag has kind of been taken. Oh, that is a wall of rain. That's cool. You ever look off in the distance and you can just see the rain coming at you? Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't really carry metal trainers anymore. Plastic's just way easier to carry around, and I don't have to worry about it like scuffing up anything that's already in my bag. And just plastic flippers have been my favorite thing to flip in general. The Edit Light remains. The Edit Light, unironically, might just be my, like, in my top 3 trainers in general, next to like the Nemesis, which I know is crazy to say, but I really, really like the Edit Light. But this is definitely like an EDC-able trainer. I could definitely see myself EDCing this with the G10 and the titanium liners and the look of it. It's pretty good. It's a solid flipper. It is interesting though how this is lighter than the Kraken trainer technically at 4 ounces, and the Kraken trainer I believe is 4.3, but it feels heavier. Probably just because there's more concentrated weight in the handles, because titanium is denser than aluminum is, or maybe G10 has something to do with it. I don't know, but could also just be the ass weight. I don't know. It feels heavier than I think it should. It certainly doesn't feel like a 4-ounce Balisong, I will say that, because the Impusa is what, like 4.3, 4.4, and it feels exactly the same. I don't know if the Impusa is actually 4.4 or 4.3, but I know it's not 4.0. And this feels, honestly, maybe even lighter than the Prime. It feels about the same, though. So that's something that's interesting. Maybe I just have the weight wrong. Definitely look into that if you're looking to buying one of these. Maybe it's not 4.0 ounces, but there isn't too much info on the specs of this thing. I had to dig through Olympus Industries' Instagram page pretty hard to find anything about this, because I wasn't sure if it was aluminum or titanium. I thought it was titanium because it looks like a titanium anode, but when you do videos like this, you want to make sure you're informing people correctly. But yeah, you can see channel. It's got some chunky Zen pins. Oh my god, that's like a full pivot going through the handle. That's interesting. And unfortunately, I do think actually it runs on T8 hardware, which is a little disappointing to see. This is my T8 bit. Oh, maybe it doesn't. That's a bit too much wiggle in there. Yeah, but T10 doesn't fit at all. So yeah, T8 hardware. Little annoying to see. Nothing too crazy though. That's pretty standard nowadays, I feel. Well, it's been standard for a while, but in my collection at least, it's pretty standard, so it's nothing too crazy. So yeah, I think that is about it on the Prime. Let me know if you guys want to see an I spent a week with the Olympus Industries Prime on the channel. Because I think it could be pretty interesting. I plan on having this case for maybe a week or two to just experiment with everything in there, because there's a few things in here that I'm interested in maybe purchasing in the future. This being one of them when I have the money. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Oh, also bushings. I shouldn't mention that this late in the video, but yes, it does run on bushings, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The storm has about arrived. In fact, I think it is raining. Yeah, it's raining out. So that's pretty fun. Run, dude, run. It's going to come down real quick. Run, get in there. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm going to go, this thing, I'm actually, you know what? Let me ramble about this thing for a few more seconds, because, like, it is really fun. I'm going to go over to the beanbag of safety really quick. Just to try and do, because I want to do like a scissor thing. Yeah, this is a pretty good flipper. If I had to describe it, it feels like if a Kraken trainer became a rep trainer. It has a similar balance to the Kraken trainer, but not as handle biased. The Kraken trainer is very much more handle biased than this. But this delivers, holy cow. Oh, it's a plane. I thought it was wind. This provides a sort of similar experience to the Kraken trainer in my eyes, but without being as extraordinarily handle biased. Or maybe it is, because balance really is subjective. Another interesting thing, there's no bite indicator of any sort. So like, this is just as comfortable as a Chaplin, even though it's on the bite side, and you know, shouldn't do that. So I don't know, maybe that's something to improve in the future models. Nice, just a little bite indicator to know when you're on the bite side. If people want to use this as a training tool, would be pretty cool. But yeah, this thing, yeah, I really like this. The rounded handles are definitely making it for me. If it didn't have rounded handles, if the handles were more blocky, I'm not sure if I would like it as much, because I think I would just say that I enjoyed my Kraken trainer just a little more, because the Kraken trainer has like the lighter feel to it, even though it's heavier. I'm going to have to research the weight if I do make because I saw 4 ounces, but it feels way heavier than it is. Maybe it's just because there's ass weight and there's tip weight and all that makes it feel heavier. But same way the Bermuda feels lighter because it's on bearings and all that. But okay, I think I've kept you guys here long enough. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Olympus Industries Prime. Let me know if you want to see I spent a week with the Prime video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.